Everybody to the May 4th meeting of the Budget Finance and Investment Committee meeting. We're all settled in. I hope everybody got a chance to look over the minutes for the April 6th meeting, and if so, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the minutes of the last April meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Schaefer.
Second.
Mr. Allen, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Investment report, Mr. Bailey. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. We had a significant uptick in short-term rates, so our effective rate has crossed over the 1% mark on even on our most liquid funds at 1.01 basis points. And we had another bid, and they've been fairly consistent the last 2 or 3 months at 1.25%, and that one went to First Tennessee this month. And that, like I said, that's been pretty consistent for us.
They might get some more business off that announcement you just made just then. I don't know if that's open to the public or not. But
Well, that's public information.
yeah, I know, but I mean, I don't know if they'll offer that rate to the
No,
public.
I don't know.
People out there watching.
Yeah.
Maybe if you had $30 million, you could put in with them, they might. Whatever. I had the 30 part.
$30.
Yeah.
Motion to approve the report is presented.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen.
Second.
Commissioner Fee. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Beatty.
you, sir.
Have a good evening.
You do the same.
Ms. Nolan, we got our fund condition report.
Passing that one around while I speak about the development tax. In April, we collected $234,000, brings our total up to $4,968,000. What I'm giving you, kind of a heads up too for later discussion, but since we're on it, our beginning balance, what I'm giving you is that kind of analysis of the fund balance that's restricted for capital. We started the year at $2,630,000. We initially estimated $1,250,000 coming into the general fund. We've already amended another $1 million to bring our estimated revenue up to $2,250,000. But at the time I did this report, our collections and development in the general fund was $2,461,250. We initially budgeted using $1,250,000 into the 16-17 budget. We've amended it once for $205,000 of use, $205,000 for purchase of property. The next two items, the $100,000 and the $1,336,000 is coming later for your review tonight. I kind of wanted to give you a heads up of what is it doing to the fund. So, to this fund balance. So all that added together, this is everything that's what we've done and what we've presented tonight would be using $2,891,000, but leave our balance at $2,199,000 right now. We've got 2 more months to collect, so I'm sure that will improve. What we're estimating next year is $1.5 million to spend. So that, I just want to give you, put that in your head when discussion comes later for 2 items. Okay, I'll go to the cash report. At the end of April, our cash totaled $303,094,000, with $244,394,000 being operating funds, $58,699,000 being borrowed funds. You see some negatives down at the bottom. Those are things that you've approved that we will be borrowing in the fall. Of course, we're using some existing project money to fund those. If no questions on that, looking at our revenue, general fund at this moment looks really, really good. We are 92% collected compared to all the other July through April, so that is your indication of where we estimate and improve in our revenue estimates next month in June. So general fund looks good. Ambulance is ahead of the game. Actually, pretty much everyone is exceeding the last 5 years or it's right on target. General, the debt service, we've already collected 100% of our estimate. So we are in good shape as far as revenue. We're going to close those gaps because, we adopted budgets with revenues being less than appropriations, so that gap will be closing.
Any questions, Ms. Nolan?
What's our estimated population in county? Has there been anything put out recently?
300 plus,
Oh, and,
a few over.
fair amount.
They're all on Broad Street 15 minutes ago.
Motion to approve the fund condition report.
Thank you, Mr. Schaefer. Mr. Jernigan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Risk management report. Ms. Street, welcome.
Hello.
Have you got?
I got Mr.
Bring the
Bowman
phone
from
up or not?
CMSI tonight.
You're about back up with you. Welcome,
That's
Ms.
right.
Bowman. How are you tonight?
Great. Good to be here.
All right, we'll start with Fund 264.
Looking at the first page of the report, you'll see an adjustment. We received this month about $2 million in pharmacy rebates. So even in the absence of that, we would have still had a positive month. The current calendar year, we're 4.3 million to the good. And for the fiscal year, we have a 3.4 million deficit. However, we are down from 6.5 million that we saw back in November. So we've changed 3 million. So hopefully we can keep the pace the next couple of months and draw that number down even further. When you look at a calendar period year to date on the revenue versus expenses, you'll see that the current year we've got $170,192 difference in our expenses, and our revenue is up in the calendar year versus the prior calendar year period. Looking at the fiscal year, there is also a difference in our revenue. Our revenue is at 1.6 million. Our expenses have a difference of 346,000. That expenses are up compared to prior year. Also, I'll point you to the last page. On the last page, you'll see a new item of information at the bottom, which is our net OPEB. We've been requested to add that information, and I've included that on there for you so you can see what our other post-employment benefits, the net OPEB looks like currently. And we're currently in an evaluation period as well, and we'll present updated numbers as soon as we receive those.
And that's our OPEB liability.
Yeah, but it's, even as we're growing and more people, the amounts from one year to the next, now since we're growing, it's still only 8 million, right? And at one time, when the ratio was just 3 or 4 years before we started making changes in our medical, et cetera.
That's
it was
that's
that
the
was
Board of
higher.
Education. That's there's
Okay.
that's 8 million. That's in the
Tammy,
Board of
we'll look
Education.
at
So
the
you
other
got a
side,
couple million
okay.
on that.
Okay.
We are doing some different analysis in this year's evaluation, and once we have those results, we can present that to show what the impact of those changes will be long-term. Within Fund 266, year-to-date, we're at $613,779 compared to prior year-to-date at $495,037.
Any questions of Ms. Street?
And on the net OPEB, we will add a column to total those, so it'll be easier to see that next month.
Do both reports together, or
And
we'll vote on both reports together? Do you need a vote?
Yeah, I believe that's what we usually do. Is that a motion?
Oh, I thought
She just
I mean-
260.
the, yes, motion to approve. Mr. President.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen and Commissioner Schaefer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We've got a recommendation for property and casualty insurance. Are these all going to be broken up separately?
These will be broken
So we'll start off with
separately,
property and
yes.
casualty insurance.
Okay, the first page is just your exposures, how they've changed. So you'll see the top portion is your property coverage, and then you'll see your expiring, the renewal, and then the difference. So they're actually in the property section, you'll see the increase in the county building values of $953,378, and the school building values at $15,884,206. And then you'll see all the other amounts remain the same except for a minor decrease of $1 in the miscellaneous equipment. The total insured difference there is an increase of $16,837,587 or $584, or roughly 2%. The next section is the casualty. This goes into the vehicles. You'll see a difference of 260 or 37%. The total insured values for auto physical damage for vehicles is around $2,024,418, and then the general operating budget of $21,669,471. Under the next section, which is your crime, public officials, and educators' legal liability, there was a little bit of discrepancy on the number of employees. We've got that corrected. So your screen is going to show 7,053 for the expiring. That number should actually be 6,409. And then the renewal should be 6,514 for a difference of 105 increase there, or 1%. Number of students increased by 895.
Go ahead and let them know that you did reach out to the carrier and confirm.
Yes.
No input.
Yeah, when we met with the insurance committee, there was the discrepancy there, and the concern there initially was there was 466 less employees, but then we did get that verified, and we talked with underwriters, and they said the quote would stand as quoted and issued. The next page just goes into the breakdown of the actual property coverages. Your property currently is written with Travelers. The renewal quote is also from Travelers. It's the same limits, retentions, and the same rate. The only change there is the increase in property values. You'll see kind of in that pinkish color. The expiring is in that first column in the pink at the $1,167,000, and then the renewal is $1,184,000. So the difference in premium there is about 1%. 6,177, but your exposure increase was about 2%. All the inland marine limits remained exactly the same. The third section is your liability coverages. To the left there, you will see the lines of the casualty lines that we're referencing. Your current carrier is Brit Global. That's who the renewal carrier is as well. The expiring limits and retentions are exactly the same. There was an increase in premium due to exposure increase and increase in losses. So you'll see in the light green there, the expiring premium at $595,862. The renewal premium is at $816,426. In the bottom of the quote, you'll see option quotes for terrorism coverage. The county has never opted to take that in the past, but we always want to make sure that we quote that for the liability and the property. Then we also have some optional quotes to increase the retention for the law enforcement and then increase the limits of liability. The motion, I guess, from the insurance committee was to stay current with your limits and retentions as they are quoted and expiring.
We also, just want to vote on this report. So just to clarify what she said, on the property side, the Travelers quote as presented was recommended to the insurance committee. It passed unanimously. On the casualty, Brit Global, the renewal premium of $816,426 was accepted. There was discussion about the optional quote for increase SRR for the law enforcement liability, but after much discussion, we felt like that the premium reduction wasn't worth the long-term risk of what that could do to the county. So the recommendation was for the $816,426 without the optional terrorism risk insurance being included.
On the first page, you may have covered this, on the vehicles and the casualty, expiring 693, renewals 953 for a 37% increase.
Right.
I may have missed if you covered it, but where did that bigger number come
It
from?
came with the contracted school buses.
The buses, okay. I was wondering if that was school buses or something, but were they not covered before?
They were covered before, the underwriters had not picked that up. So basically, you get it for free. So here's-
You all heard the recommendation from the insurance committee. What are the wishes of the committee?
Motion to accept the recommendation.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen. Mr. Jernigan beat you out, Commissioner P, I believe. And any discussion, questions? If not, call the roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Ball?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Peak?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes. All right, we've got the volunteer firefighters auxiliary officer coverage.
Correct. The first one is the auxiliary officers. This covers the sheriff's volunteers. The present plan is the $25,000 limit. You'll see straight down the board. The second page goes into the premium. The premium is exactly the same as expiring at the $6,297. And then also they quoted optional plans. The insurance committee recommended that it stay with the present plan. The next section is the firefighters, emergency responders. Again, you'll see the present plan at the $50,000 limit, and the premium is $4,366. The expiring premium was $4,108, so the difference of $258, and there was just a slight increase in number of participants in the coverage there. That's the reason for that increase.
Any questions on these?
Motion to accept the recommendations.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen.
Second.
Mr. Baum, any questions? Call the roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Ball?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Peak?
Pass.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes. Dental liability.
Okay. The last portion is from Admiral Insurance Company. It's for the dentist and the dental assistant at the health department for professional liability. The limits quoted is $1 million, $3 million. The deductible is $2,500 and the premium is $2,000.
Any questions? And I take it this passed the insurance committee
It did.
unanimously also.
And we bill this back to the state, is that right, Ms. Nolan, this premium amount? That was the discussion in the insurance committee.
I do not think so.
Okay.
Would it qualify those as a covered expense?
I need to get with Dana about that. Because this is billed in, it's not in her budget, this is in her budget, but I don't think it's paid out of, do you remember?
This will be the first year that we've had a separate coverage item for these two.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Mhm.
Then we
Right.
just need to get with Dana and see if we can squeeze that in her
Okay.
budget.
All right.
Motion to approve the recommendation.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen.
Second.
Commissioner Schaefer. Discussion, questions? Call the roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Ball?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Peak?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ladies, have a good evening. Got a general fund budget amendment for emergency management. Mr. Cass, welcome. How are you tonight?
All right, sir. This one should be easy. Every year, we, in the District 5, which encompasses 7 counties, District 5 is for Homeland Security, we get our federal funds and decide how to divvy them up. The way it's decided is initially the subcommittees, response, EMS, communications, training, which is made up of experts throughout the public safety agencies throughout the 7 counties. They make their recommendations, and of course at the task force level, we vote and draw the red line. So this is our portion, and it does seem like it comes later every year because what I want to do is get this budget amendment into our budget so we can work with those public safety agencies throughout the county to get this money spent before the end of this fiscal year for us, which is something the federal government doesn't really take into consideration. So that's what this is about. The county as a whole, and that includes the cities, the fire and police for the cities also will receive pieces of this depending on their projects. We receive, I'd like to accept the, moving our budget so we start spending it, $122,193. That's for 15 items that spread, it's spread across 5 projects.
Any questions? Or what are the wishes of the committee?
Motion to approve the request.
Thank you, Mr. Schaefer? Mr. Jernigan? Any questions, discussion? Call roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Bond?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yeah.
Commissioner Fee?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes. Thank you. Have a good evening. Got a general fund budget amendment, transfer for fire and rescue. Chief Farley, welcome.
Mr. Chairman, I got 4 amendments, if you, what's your pleasure, as far as doing them all one time, or one at a time, or?
We don't have any objections, we'll just put them together unless somebody has an objection. So just start, keep going.
All right, the first one is to move $10,000 from other salaries and wages to part-time personnel. The second one is to, a mayor's recommendation to move $100,000 from the balance for capital to our contributions line item to help Christiana Volunteer Fire Department fund their new building. They're constructing a new building to house some of the new equipment that the county's been purchasing. And then $300 from other supplies and materials to travel in my budget. And then also $10,000 from the county gasoline and fuel fund to my 412 diesel fuel.
Any questions on
Is
this?
this part of what's reflected on our sheet here?
100,000.
And the other point, so that the property can be deeded to the county.
Yeah, the property, Christiana property has been in the process going through planning, and it will be Rutherford County property by the next month. I think it's made through the planning process. Attorney Jeff Reed's working on that, transferring that, and the Tony Snook is the owner of that. He's donating that to the county.
Plus, Christiana volunteers are putting up $100,000.
Yeah, the building's $2,000. They're putting in $100,000, and they've asked the mayor for $100,000. He's
This is an addition to the existing building.
which is very important because in the past years, all they've had is just a building and a heater. This will, they're actually putting in bathrooms and office space and computers and stuff where they can do their reports, and it'd be more of a comfortable atmosphere than what they've had in the past.
And if people didn't pick up on what you said a minute ago, Tony Snook, who has dedicated most of his life to firefighting in this county, is donating his property to the county after letting the county use this spot for all these number of years. I mean, if we had more people out there like him
also-
doing the right thing for their community, we'd be a better place. I want to give him a credit.
Yeah, well, Mr. Snook, years ago, was also paramedic 15 out of Christiana and saved a lot of lives. He was dispatched by the ambulance service. So whenever Medic 5 went out there on Stone River Lane, he spent 20, 30 years out there responding to people's homes and heart attacks and everything else and saved many, many lives. So yeah, he's a great public servant in Rutherford County, there's no doubt about that.
Absolutely. Any questions on any of these four? And if not, we'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the requests.
Thank you, Commissioner Schaefer.
Second.
Mr. Peak. Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Bond?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Fee?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Thanks, sir.
Chief. Got a general fund budget transfer for the election commission. You want to handle that for your brother while you're here? Oh, there he is. I didn't see him. Welcome, Mr. Farley.
Good evening, how y'all doing? We had a budget amendment here for $2,500 out of legal notices, moving that over to office supplies for blocks for provisional ballot bags, absentee ballot boxes, and voting machines, and then also supplies for election training.
Any
Motion
questions?
to approve.
Commissioner Peak, thank you.
Second.
Mr. Jernigan. Any questions? Call the roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Bond?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Fee?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Got a general fund budget transfer for the sheriff's department. Rebel, welcome. How are you tonight? Mr. Sheriff,
How are you?
I keep hearing more and more good things about things you all are doing out there to save money and stuff, and I do.
Depends on who you talk to.
I haven't heard a bad word yet, personally in my area out there. so
Appreciate that.
We do appreciate the good press.
Well, we've got some good people working very hard.
We do. I was gonna look at the, I was gonna ask permission before the, what we do. I can do the DEA.
You want to do the DEA first?
I can do that, it's easier
Okay.
since it's done on here. Anyway, I just need to recognize some funds we got from DEA in our special purpose. It was a check this month for $1,121.64. We'll take that money and put it in our law enforcement equipment.
We're on number 10 on our iPad.
Is it-
It's no, look at that. It's number 10.
$1,121.64.
You gotta go back to here.
We don't have,
Now you gotta
Well,
go
you
back.
get the whole different
Okay.
part.
okay.
There you go.
So we'll just put
You're
in
welcome,
some
Leslie, gonna give me some paper. I'll give you this one.
You want to do them all together?
We got
We'll
this
do this one
DEA
separate.
so this is $1,121.64. Any questions on this one? Or a motion?
Motion to approve is
Thank
presented.
you, Commissioner Allen. Commissioner Baum. Any further questions? Call the roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Peak?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes. Now, the sheriff's department, we got three pages anyway. Starting off with one with utilities
Yes,
stuff,
sir.
I guess, and just keep going till somebody stops you.
Okay. This is in the jail. We're taking $11,000 out of our utility budget. Our extradition costs are just skyrocketing. So to get us through this year, I'm trying to get $9,000 in there. Hopefully that'll get us through. And I'm putting $2,000 in communication equipment because we are using GPS systems on our trustees. And anybody outside will have that on there. So it's a total of $11,000 going to two different funds. The second one is we're getting cameras for we got some blind spots in the jail, so we're asking to move $7,500 from maintenance agreements from the general fund side to the jail data processing equipment. And last, the sale of equipment, we sold some firearms, and we're asking for $37,150 to go into our law enforcement equipment.
One more. We got one more.
Now, Lisa.
Okay, so I prepped them.
They know where the
Why don't
money,
we take the first three and get them out of the way?
They're a little smaller. Why don't-
Some discussion on this one.
Any questions on the first ones that's been talked about so far? And if not, we'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the
Thank you,
request.
Commissioner Schaefer.
Second.
Commissioner Allen. Call the roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Peak?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes. Okay, now let's go to the one that's got more digits in it.
we are asking to complete our total package. We started with CAD, we're going to RMS, JMS. I think we've done well with CAD. I think we've proven we can do it. So we're with the help of the mayor and Lisa, she's come up with a way we could pay for this and start it, and hopefully we've provided a timeline. Keith's going to expand on it, that we can be completed in 12.
Well, it would be completed on 3/26/18, the total project where we would have the record management system and the jail management system completely installed and working. If you, in your folders that are given you in the back of the folder, there is a section in there dealing with Tri-Tech. If you all see it in the back there.
That's the
That's a
timeline.
timeline. I guess we just start with a timeline, and that'll give you
It'll look like this, the first page will look like this.
this. that'll be the timeline that we're looking at, and we're just using a start date of 4/15 on project duration plan, and that's the planning stages where we're moving into this. And these are tentative dates based on approvals, and of course, they can be slipped if something doesn't happen on a particular time frame, such as a contract agreement with an attorney. But assuming there's a 350-day duration, we start on 4/15/17, and the first project would be the record management system. And as we move through that, and we would, right on the end of the RMS deployment, we would start the JMS portion for the jail management and have the total project completed by 3/26. What this system will allow us to do is, and in the paperwork that you got on TriTech, I guess the first thing I should say, this is not something that we would be the trial or the beginning of. There are 2 pages in current Tennessee agencies that are using TriTech, either the CAD or the RMS or the JMS portion. Of course, there's other features that they have that some of the other agencies are using. So this is a tried and true system. It's not something that we're starting from scratch on and we don't know that it works. Also, coupled with that, if you could go back 1 page from the current Tennessee agencies, it gives you kind of an idea on how the flow of data would go on RMS system. And basically what would happen is a call would originate in dispatch. Dispatch would then direct the call to a responder, and this is done electronically. Report is generated and submitted electronically. If they go out, they issue a report, then electronically they will fill out the report and submit it back to our agency. Also, if an arrest is made, it would also populate the jail forms as opposed to doing paper copies. Right now, when we go out, we do a paper copy incident report. It comes back, and we have some people that have to scan it or type it into our system, so there's double handling on that. If they make an arrest, they come back into the sheriff's office, they go into the booking, and the data that they have on their incident report, they have to transfer that to a booking report. Then the booking report has to be entered manually into the system. What this will do is allows, once the officer's on the scene, initiates a report electronically, then it populates all the forms that we need back at the sheriff's office. So when they arrive back with the prisoner, the booking form is already populated. Human hands have not had to touch it at that point. Also, what this would allow us to do is we would be able to interface with the clerk's office, courts, also the other police agencies, and have an exchange of information back and forth that we do not. Now it's all a paper flow. We don't have it electronically. So that's what the RMS system would do. Of course, the jail management system is keeping up with the 800 count plus inmate population and all the forms and everything that goes with that type of population. Also including the medical records that we have to keep, all the records that we keep. So what we're asking for is to get this project off the ground is to come out of the development tax, am I saying that right?
Yes, sir.
Come out of development tax and asking for it in this budget year where we can start this system installation. We're asking for $1,336,500. It will go into capital, and as certain phases of this project are completed, then a draw will be made against. It's not all going to be spent at one time.
And this is the exact system Murfreesboro is using. We have talked about that in the past.
Yes,
if I'm
sir,
not
it is.
mistaken. And you will be able to share information much more readily available.
Well, with them, but
Right
also...
now, a lot of times they cannot be shared either.
That's correct, but also what it will allow us to do is that we will be able to build pathways to the other agencies. We also, on the Tensis, will be able to build a pathway there, and we can talk back and forth via computer.
That was one of the questions that I know we talked about before, was whether or not we could get an interface between TriTech and Tensis. And so
Yes.
you've begun that conversation.
We begin that conversation, and of course, the advantage that we've got is there are other agencies in the state that have TriTech, but then they also have Tensis. And so by that, we've got many...
So we're not just one customer.
That's right. Many are asking for the same thing, so then that drive is going to set up that.
And then the records management piece, will Trey have access to that as well? Trey King?
Special court.
Special court.
Okay.
We're looking, it's going to be a web-based
Okay.
concept where you can actually log in. We'll have it, it's not internet web-based, but he'll be able to log in like a website and have access to it.
And then I know there's an ongoing fee to, I guess, I don't know if it's a licensing fee or a tech fee or what, but I know there's an ongoing maintenance fee.
There will be after the first year, and then, go year 2 on, yes, there is.
About 30
It's about 73,000.
1 year after they go live.
Is that for both of them or per?
No,
or-
per.
Okay.
But if one starts first, then that top clock starts when that one goes live a year after that, and the second one, it goes live a year after that.
Pretty sure, I'm not sure about that.
It's,
I know I'd seen those numbers before, I just want to make sure that we're.
if you
we're talking about.
find these sheets in there, all those numbers are in those sheets that's been provided to you. Yeah.
Public safety's been living with this, listening to it for a while, and it passed unanimously earlier this month. There you go. So I'll make a motion that we approve the request is granted, plus the CAD system is doing everything that the department's expected to do, which is...
A second.
Lisa, is that already?
That's that line. RMS, JMS, that's what that's for.
And for those people watching home, this is not the first we've heard of this. We've talked about this off and on for
last year,
quite some time. So
I'd say probably a year and a half.
Well, we knew when we started with CAD that we were going to be 3 phases. We're just fortunate that we've got the funds to be able to do 2 at once.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
And from the projection, if we, development tax are restricted for capital projects, whichever you want to call it, is that if you look at the next May and June, if they're like the months have been going, we're going to be pretty close, probably 100,000 less starting 2017-18 than we did 16-17. So that's a good thing to say when we can say we also have this done, paid for.
any further questions or discussion? We do have a motion on the floor to approve this as presented.
Just to refresh my memory, we have been talking about this for quite a while. Under the license that you get with this, will our fire departments be able to use this same software?
Or it's not necessarily a fire software, but if it did have a record that was necessary for them to have, sir, as far as the records management is mostly about, if we went out to a scene, took an arson report, for instance, yes, we could actually set that up to where we can do an active directory where we can limit or expand the access of an individual or a group into the software where we want to have it and otherwise. So it's very configurable.
It's configurable.
I was looking at the number of fire departments you've got listed.
We want to share data.
That are using it, so,
Yeah.
all right.
And larger places, not just Tennessee, but we're talking about large cities such as Dallas and Pinellas County, Florida, and the large cities that have been on this for quite some time.
If no further questions, call the roll.
Commissioner Heller?
Aye.
Commissioner Bond?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Peak?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yeah. Motion passes. Thank you
Thank
very
you all
much.
very much. Appreciate it.
Good evening.
Got a general fund budget transfer for Paul's. Mr. Gregory, welcome. How are you tonight?
We've got 2 amendments, both transferring money within our budget. The first one is to transfer $2,700 from our drugs and medical supply line item over to other equipment. We've had several new officers this year that we need to get equipped with our armored vest, and that cost is $730 a vest, piggybacking off the bid from the Sheriff's Department. The second amendment that we have is to move $5,000 into our veterinary services line. That's pulling from our part-time and our benefits. If you recall, we did a budget amendment a couple of months ago to hire a part-time veterinarian. We ran into several difficulties getting someone to even apply for that position, even after multiple calls and talking to a lot of folks. What this does is we have someone that's willing to come in and work, doing some relief work, some fill-in work, but they would be a contract employee, so that's how we pay those at line 357.
questions of Mr. Gregory?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Pete. Commissioner Jernigan? Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Bond?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Pete?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Durden?
Yes. And we've got a request to apply for an animal-friendly grant for paws.
We've got 4 grants. Do you want to do those together
Is there
individually?
any problem? If we don't hear any objections, we'll just talk about them, we'll take them on one motion.
Yes, sir.
If that's,
You can-
just keep moving till somebody stops.
All right, the first grant is the Tennessee Animal Friendly Grant. It's funded through the license plates that we do every year. We applied for $6,400. They just divvy up the money basically by whoever applies. The second grant is through Petco Foundation. We've never applied there before. We requested $21,000 to help to pay for part-timers to come in so that we can try to open for adoptions on Sundays. The third grant is a grant that we applied for through PetSmart Charities. It's a shelter improvement grant in the amount of $49,077. We're asking them for that funding to purchase larger cat cages for our stray area that would match the cages that we purchased up front that are on order now for the lobby. And it also includes money in there to add an addition onto the existing surgery room into our storage areas. We have more capacity for surgeries back there. And then the fourth grant is a PetSmart Capital Improvement Grant. That grant there, they will only fund up to half of the costs. We applied, I think it was $51,000 something odd dollars, which was half the cost of the bid that came in for our lobby renovation, to see if they would offset some of that cost for us.
And refresh my memory, have we approved the funding for the lobby renovation? This isn't new money.
No, there was $55,000 that was included in this year's budget using Paul's donation funds.
Just make sure I realize that
Yes.
none of this is going to put the county on the hook for new money.
No.
None of these are matching funds except for this one. This is money we're going to spend anyway.
Well, we're trying to spend, I'll say that. If we can get some costs down
Yeah.
significantly, yes, sir.
For the wishes of the committee.
Make a motion to approve all 4 requests.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Schaefer.
Second.
Commissioner Allen?
On the last one, is that subject to our approval? Will that come back, or is that, would go straight to the mayor if that was approved?
But the resolutions, if we get them, you've authorized us to go ahead and execute the receipt of the grants.
Well, on the last one, I mean, we'd have to kick in another way.
But he's already got some money there appropriated through his donation account. I believe that would be our mess. It's already been amended.
And that's in this year's budget. That's what I was asking.
Yes,
That's already in this year's
Is that
budget.
up to 50,000 in that?
We had budgeted $55,000 with that line. We've spent, I think, around $3 for architectural fees thus far. So we have that remaining balance there still.
Okay.
And the expansion out there has been like everything else that deals with construction in the mid-state. It's going up.
Big time.
But the 2 together will cover it, what it's going to cost.
And we'll find out, right?
Well, and we're still working with the
on getting the
architect
price
and
down.
the contractor to reduce that cost significantly.
Well, if it's over this amount, it'd have to come back to us.
It'd have to come back.
Any further questions? Call the roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Bond?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yeah.
Commissioner Pete?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Durden?
Yes. Mr. Gregory, you have a good evening. Got a request to apply for Tennessee Litter and Trash Collection Grant for Solid Waste. Mr. Nolan,
Good evening.
how are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing well. You know, sometimes you do things better when you do it the second time. We did this before, but TDOT let us know that we were eligible for more money. The new price is $113,200, so
What was the old price?
96.
Oh, you're making money.
So we're asking to go through the process again to apply for the grant, and we need to try to have the paperwork in by the end of June, which we should be able to make that.
Motion to approve the request.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen.
Second.
Commissioner Bond. Call the roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Bond?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Pete?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Durden?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
It's been nice to your wife. She might want to handle that for you, so you have to come in for that.
I offered.
Got a general purpose school fund budget amendment. Told them just in time. Thanks for hiding outside.
You got a board meeting.
Well, Mr. Sanders, welcome.
This is one of the routine amendments that we have at the end of the year. Of course, you're going to see a string of those because budgets are estimates at the beginning of the year. But this one, basically, is the state has changed the line items numbers for technology. Again. It did last year, and what they're doing this time is they're going to take some of the technology and put it underneath instruction. If it's something, computers or something related to instruction, the new numbers will be recategorized under instruction. So not asking for more money or anything like that. It's just we want to get it cleaned up so that when we submit the this year, our whole budget, that it'll go straight through. So
they wound up the guidance, the informal guidance we got, they pulled back from when we got to enter our budgets. Now they're going back to it.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Motion to approve is presented.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen.
Second.
Commissioner Petty. Any questions? Call the roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Bond?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan? Commissioner Peak?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Just a bit.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes. Is that it?
That's it.
Got over in a hurry for all that? Got an assistant firefighter grant for ambulance service.
Okay.
Handle that, Ms. Nolan?
I can do it. The ambulance service was awarded a grant in the amount of $135,586, and that is for power stretchers, and to buy 8 of them. And there's a 10% match, and so the amendment below requests money from their assigned for public health, their ambulances fund balance of $13,558, recognizing the revenue $135,586 for a total cost of $149,144.
Motion to approve the request.
Thank you, Commissioner Schaefer.
Second.
Commissioner Allen? I hope we're starting to gain ground on the power stretchers. We've been trying to get them in all the ambulances, but
I think we've got only a couple more budgeted for this next year. I think we'll have it all done.
it's good news. Call the roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Bond?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yeah.
Commissioner Peak?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes. Got a highway fund budget amendment. Ms. Eckerson, welcome. You make somebody mad at you that thought you went out to buy them?
That's all right. Good afternoon.
How did Mr. Beatty always end up very first? Is what I want to know. You got cookies or something like that?
Mark, do they have what I had sent? Okay. All right, we have we're coming with a budget amendment because Monday this week, our board opened a bid for the state aid road project of resurfacing and some work on Burnt Knob Road. It'll be the section from Anvil Road back to just west of Veterans Parkway. The remaining section is in the process of being annexed into the city of Murfreesboro. The project come in just a little over, just around $820,000 this year. The state, for the state aid roads, has a split of 98-2 instead of the normal 80-20. So we're going to get this on the books and started before July 1 so we can take advantage of the additional 18% there. So what we are bringing is the revenue increase of $524,000 to the line item 46420. We are also increasing the expenditure line item of where the actual check to vendor will be wrote out of, which is our $68,726 state aid project. We're going to increase it $545,000. And to make that little difference up, we're going to pull out $21,000 from our line item of $63,100,412 diesel fuel. Currently in there, we're at 80% basically spent on our entire budget, and diesel fuel we've only spent right at 39% of that line item, so we're comfortable with moving that little bit of money. So that's, that, like I said, was presented to our board and passed, and so we're bringing it to you tonight.
All the wishes of the committee.
Motion to approve. Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Jernigan. Second, Commissioner P. Any questions? Call roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Bob?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes. Motion passed.
Thank you very
Thank you, Mary.
much.
You have a good evening.
Thank you.
Establish cash on hand for other administration of justice.
Administration of Justice. Okay, so
Probation.
this is probation. The circuit court is changing to their new system. There was problems with, because in the rest of the state, Texas doesn't handle probation. So we quickly had to adjust and have them use a software system that was already at probation and in place. To separate the controls, we have to establish cash for that operation. Basically, they'll be collecting, same place, two different types of software. One probation, in essence, probation is collecting their own and circuit is collecting theirs. But we've got to have the cash drawers separated, and so this is a request for $100,000 to do two cash
Just
$100.
$100.
$100,000.
Just 100.
Just $100. I'm sorry.
Everybody-
Oh, $100,000.
Well, Alyssa got excited. If she's watching.
$100. Two $50 bags.
And audit fine if you got $100,000 down your yard.
Only $100.
Motion to approve the request.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen.
I'm sorry.
Second.
Commissioner Bond, a motion and a second for the $100. Call the roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Bob?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes. Dead stock removal agreement.
Just a request to approve this agreement for another year. I think it's the same money. I think it went up
Exactly as last
this year, but I think it's the same money going forward. $36,103.94.
Motion to approve the request.
Thank you, Commissioner Schaefer.
Second.
Commissioner P. Call the roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Bob?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes. General fund transfer for county clerk.
I'll take care of it. This is a request to, they needed additional $8,000 estimated in their postal charges for the rest of the year, but they've been able to find it within their budget, coming from communications, maintenance agreements, maintenance repair of equipment, gasoline, and other supplies and materials.
What are the wishes of the committee? Thank you, Commissioner Jernigan.
Second.
Commissioner Allen? I saw Ms. Kroll, and I did commend her on finding it within her budget. She said they had to go to 5 different line items to get it, but that's what we're looking for, so. Call the roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Bob?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes. General fund budget transfer for finances.
And requesting to move money from office supplies, $1,600, and DP equipment, $2,000, into furniture and fixtures to be able to add another cubicle in room 201.
You need an employee for that cubicle?
No, no, it will be a I will end up having a vacant cube that the public can use when looking at records, and then I will be moving the receiving function behind.
I was asking, if you need a cubicle, then the next thing will be, you need a cubicle.
I'm not asking for another employee.
Well, the wishes of the committee.
Make a motion to approve the request.
Commissioner Schaefer, thank you.
Second.
Commissioner Allen? Call the roll.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Bob?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes. All right, now the fun part, 2017-18 budget overview.
You've got your,
Everybody's got their books, we had that just before the meeting.
and this will be an overview.
Promise me not a line by line by any means.
This is not, I try to make it easy to just kind of flip through as we get started. But when you open it up, first page is the directory. The next couple pages is our timeline schedule. Where I want you to start is right behind the table of contents. And this is where we start. I look at this and, sometimes, we come back in August, it's like, are you kidding? We already have budget amendments? Well, I already know that we're going to make some changes for what we've done. It seems like the budget is never done. Seems like it's fluid. But in presenting the consolidated budget to you, as presented, we meet all policies as presented without having to adjust moving monies. However, if you want to move money out of debt service to general fund, I wouldn't be opposed. Just saying.
We're going to start that fight already.
I know, that was just...
Charlie burned up already.
That was a subliminal comment.
You said it out loud.
Is that an outside thought? Yeah. This must have been an inside thought. Okay, estimated revenues, in total, 109, no, that was our beginning fund balance, 109,854,000. All funds, estimated revenue at 545,248,000. Appropriations as presented. And this is the mayor's recommendation, highway where they are and schools where they are at this moment. Well, I can't say this moment because I think the schools changed theirs. $562,238,000 as presented, the general fund. And again, I'm using our budgeted fund balance. Now, in June, we come back and change our estimates of revenue, so that will change. And then we'll estimate some for what we think will be returned. We'll clean this number up, but I guess I'm telling you, with a budgetary basis, we're okay. Without, no tax increase. No tax increase.
Type that in.
Type that
Don't whisper that. You get the other out loud.
Okay.
Ask you a question about the highway department.
Yes, sir.
I've been reading that the governor is putting out an amended budget and he's going to increase in what they have, the money they have.
Mary's already gone.
Yeah.
And the highway departments around the state are going to get more money. How does that affect us in the future? I mean, is that what?
It comes in through gas tax.
Yeah.
It'll come through gas tax, and then they'll budget it.
No. What I'm saying is when we got to decide how much we, the maintenance of effort, does that change that? Oh, okay.
No, that's the state's effort. It's what's the local effort. And I've got in here where we as presented, maintain, we made our maintenance of effort. Okay. So right now, in the general fund, we're at 16.23% of our appropriations.
Back on the highway department.
Yep.
That money will come in next year. And I guess they'll have to amend the budget before we finish this time for next year. It's going to be $1 billion plus.
So that's kind of what I was saying, is that, this is where it is. As we go through our process, this will change. But hopefully, we'll still end up without needing a tax increase.
But a lot of times it changes for the better.
Generally, usually better.
Okay, so that's my overall picture. Some of the things I want to talk to you about in preparing the salaries for the county funds. This includes the HR's last salary survey. It moves the median to step 11. It increases we have a step 21 that's like 0.5% more than step 20. It increases it to 1% of step 21. In the budget, in our budget and the school's budget, we've estimated our retirement and our pension cost as being flat at 10.66. If you remember last year, our required contribution was 8.66% of payroll, but they encouraged us to contribute more, and we did. We did 2% more, 10.66. When we got our information for this year, it moved our tick only 2%. I mean, 2 basis points, not 2%, 2 basis points. So and they still encouraged all the governments to contribute more because of 2 reasons. One, the mortality tables that they use, that they are calculating these actuarial costs to, is living to 65. Over a period of time, they're going to extend that because people live more than 65. So that's going to have an impact on what what our costs will be. The other thing, the discount rate that they use in determining or estimating how our assets grow is currently at 7.5%. They're going to be reducing that. So those 2 things over time is going to cost us. So they're encouraging us, and I'm recommending and building the budget on staying with the same contribution rate at 10.66. The positions in the county funds, which is the county highway and ambulance, there were a net ins and out of 46 full-time and 13 part-time. Now, in your section, it's behind your first colored tab is what was requested by the departments. Behind the blue tab is what is being recommended by the mayor. So for all funds, for those 3 funds, the cost for those 46 full-time and 13 part-time total $2,448,000. What the mayor has recommended is 28 full-time and 15 part-time at $1,467,390. Now, in these numbers, there are 12 positions in the sheriff and 1 full-time position in maintenance and 4 part-time for custodians that are in there for the new judicial building. There are 12 that are in there at 5 months. Those are at the jail part, and then there are 3 positions on the sheriff's side, on the certified officers. In building, we've got the full-time coming in for 6 months and the custodians coming in for 3 months. Interesting note on the comparing what is being presented tonight to the amended budget, both the general fund and schools are at 3.8% higher than our current amended budget. Our debt service has an increase of 7.2%. As you can see, that fund, we're showing with still an increase to fund balance of $1,134,000. Now, you've already approved several projects, and this is an estimate. Debt service has already got $1.5 million built in for debt service expense on this money that we will be borrowing in the fall. So that's already factored in here as well. So there are a couple things, that's my overview. One of the things that I know that we have to address, and speaking with Preble, I may have got some numbers mixed up on when numbers come in, these come in, but we'll need to talk again on the sheriff. But that one, and we've got one outstanding thing, and we're waiting on the schools to there is Title I monies that come into juvenile detention, and the feds have changed that program where it has to flow through the schools, and we've got to figure out how best to budget that. Currently, the way it's being handled today ends at the end of July. And so in the current budget, in this budget, we've said, okay, it ends in July, thinking that the schools will pick it up, but it may, with a flow-through, come back. So that, I know, is still an outstanding issue, and I think Jeff won't know exactly how to tell us until later. Before we adopt the budget, we'll know how we need to handle it. If it comes back on, it'll be revenue and expenses at the same time.
When we begin meeting, could you provide us with that long sheet for debt service?
Absolutely.
That shows our fund balance over the next 20 or 30 years into the future with these current estimates built into it?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. I'll have those.
Okay, thank you.
That with the estimate of this current borrowing that we're going to do, that's what I'll show you. Yeah. 'Cause I figured somebody would want it.
Got to get ready.
I know it. But anyway, that's ever.
Is the state funding or continuing to fund a larger portion of the BEP?
Yeah.
Like last year was an
It's
improvement,
huge.
this is another, that's having a noticeable effect.
They're sending new money over to pay the teachers.
They're
At the number of teachers they say we should have, and at the rate we should pay them. Is Mr. Sandringham still in here?
He never
He can tell us. They
Not
haven't
spending enough, but
they haven't made any significant changes to the actual monies we're getting or should get, in my judgment. And there is no capital money ever coming through there.
And there's no relief to allow us a way that we can get it from any other type of, well, I'll just throw it out there, I mean, from developers. Developers literally pay nothing.
That's
in
going
this
to be a
county for
priority
the
that we're
privilege
going to
of
work
what
on
they do.
starting now before next January. We have to have legislative change down there to get some relief on what we can do with our development tax or something else. I don't know what. We cannot sustain it without it.
Since I've been up here, about 14 years so far, the only thing that they have really helped us with monetary-wise with the litigation taxes.
And Jeff, on the fast enrolling, growth systems, are we still going fast enough to get some of that money?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good.
It's good. Are they going to pay for all those?
At least we're still getting a little bit more than some of the others are getting in that respect.
Okay, Tuesday, May 9th, we begin.
5:30.
5:30.
That concludes the budget overview.
Unless they don't have anything else. they don't have
Anything
to-
under other business?
I just have one question. I was trying to find it in here. I know the planning department, they're going to request some software.
It's in here.
I was curious to know this, we did the software for the sheriff's office. Would that be worthwhile to come out of this fund?
It could.
It's not that much money, so
Right.
we don't need to, I don't think we need to do it. We can do it in a normal budget.
I just didn't know if there's any advantage to doing it the same way.
It's little dollars.
Yeah, it was really small. Yeah.
Both codes and planning together is less than 100 substantially.
Anything else? Well, we'll make tonight's meeting in 1 hour and 8 minutes. Don't expect the same to happen starting Tuesday. Make sure you eat the dinner before they get here, and we'll see everybody Tuesday night. We are adjourned. Thank you.